Chapter 189 and 190. The sunset's glow spread across the sea, blending with the blood of the beasts, turning the water into a peculiar shimmering red. On the water's surface, a figure was speeding along, the sea churning in his wake. Who could it be? It was the golden ant. He was focused on moving in one direction, but he was not alone. 3 dragons were flying behind him, a thunder dragon, a green dragon, and what appeared to be a fire dragon with a rugged head. This group of disaster-level beasts had completed their mission in Australia and were now returning to Misty Mountain, perhaps? Back on the prairie battlefield, the 9-tailed fox had activated its second form, Rage Mode. Its body was enveloped by pure spiritual power, which was also scorching hot. Reaching tens of thousands of degrees Celsius, the 9-tailed fox stood still, staring at its opponent without blinking, as if waiting for the Moon Wolf King's performance. Seeing this, the Moon Wolf King roared, "Don't think you're the only one who has hidden your power." Indeed, a moment later, the Moon Wolf King also strengthened his body, his entire body enveloped by a layer of green light. His power had now reached the realm of moving mountains and filling seas. The two beasts approached each other, and everything around them, under the pressure of their power, was crushed into dust. But I felt that the Moon Wolf King always seemed a bit lacking in confidence, didn't he? Turning to the side of the Demon Bull was being brutally tortured by the Blood Wolf King. The Blood Wolf King moved extremely fast, leaving only traces of her orange-red figure in space. Each time she moved, she cut deep into the flesh of the Demon Bull, who was completely helpless. Cut and cut, fresh blood gushed out. The Demon Bull had received countless wounds. This scene was so brutal that it would be censored. Finally, even the axe that the divine tree had given to the Demon Bull was knocked away by her, falling heavily to the ground. Having lost his weapon, his body scarred with dozens of deep, open wounds, blood continuously flowing out, the Demon Bull just stood there, looking at his opponent. The Demon Bull had realized that under the influence of the moon, the Blood Wolf King had received a blessing, significantly increasing her speed and strength. Damn it, even though overall, the two sides had equivalent strength, their combat systems were different. When a tank and an assassin face off, the tank is sure to be whittled down to death, which made the Demon Bull grind his teeth in frustration. The Blood Wolf King, upon seeing the helplessness of the Demon Buffalo, laughed wickedly, "Ha ha ha ha. I have absorbed the power of the moon and enhanced my attack stats. No need for defense anymore." The Blood Wolf King flexed his muscles and veins for the Demon Buffalo to see. "Look at this. My strength has increased tremendously." Indeed, his muscles were firm, hot, and radiated an incredibly dense spiritual power. Having finished showing off, the Blood Wolf King roared, "Die!" She wanted to end this battle. Letting the Demon Buffalo know the reason for his death was also a display of the dominance of a king. The Demon Buffalo gritted his teeth. So this wolf only increased speed and raw strength? That made him cautious and defensive, listening carefully all this while, thinking there might be other skills, needing to be careful. Now that he knew, he could fight comfortably. The eyes of the Demon Buffalo shone brightly. He grunted, "Just speed and strength? Clearly, these are the most meaningless things when facing me." Indeed, from the beginning, the Demon Buffalo only used gravity in a limited way to increase the damage of his melee attacks. Hearing this, the Blood Wolf King seemed surprised and a bit worried. After she had dominated the opponent like that, yet he could still be so arrogantly confident? It seemed that she had been fooled from the start. The next second, just as the Blood Wolf King approached, the Demon Buffalo braced himself and unleashed his skill. It was large-scale gravity control. Immediately the space around collapsed. Everything was sucked down strongly. The Blood Wolf King was rushing forward, but at this moment completely stopped and was sucked down to the ground. What the hell is this? The Blood Wolf King could not resist. His whole body was increasingly pressed down to the ground. His 4 legs were about to give out. Crack! The sound of leg bones breaking echoed. His whole body was completely stuck to the ground, a terrifying suction force, making the Blood Wolf King unable to escape. At this moment she realized, who was the boss here? It turned out that she had been tricked by the opponent from beginning to end. All the ultimate skills had been released. Unexpectedly, the opponent hid the true strength until the last moment. The demon buffalo retrieved his axe. He calmly said, "I never intended to confront you directly, but this is my ability." Then he swung his axe up with both hands. It was a finishing blow. The divine tree was right. Patience and hiding strength will make the opponent reveal what they are proud of. That is the key to victory. The demon buffalo roared, "Shatter into pieces." At this moment, the Blood Wolf King finally felt the sense of death getting closer, invading her soul. She screamed in fear, "Wait, wait, I want to join Misty Mountain with my wolf pack." Unfortunately, it was too late. The axe fell. The head of the Blood Wolf King was separated from the neck. It should have said this earlier. For the demon buffalo, whether the Blood Wolf King surrendered or not, it no longer mattered. They could still control this wolf pack normally. Don't forget that Misty Mountain also had a wind wolf pack from the very beginning. They had drunk tins of liters of life essence. How strong are they now? The Moon Wolf King watched as his beloved met a tragic end on the other side. He called out her name in horror, but the only response was a chilling silence. His anger transformed into power, and the Moon Wolf King's spiritual force erupted even stronger. With a cold, stern voice, he declared, "I will use your deaths to pay tribute to her." Upon hearing this, the nine-tailed elder shouted, "You won't get that chance." Instantly, the entire body of the nine-tailed fox transformed, and a colossal fox-shaped Susanu appeared, its aura overwhelming. The Moon Wolf King paused at this sight. His bloodlust suddenly dampened. What was this technique? This fox only had 4 tails before, and now another one had sprouted? At this moment, the Moon Wolf King truly felt the scent of death in the air. No matter, he hadn't fought yet, so he didn't know the outcome. It was a life or death situation anyway. Gritting his teeth and squinting his eyes, he roared, "Even if you have 9 tails, I will slaughter you right here." The Moon Wolf King opened his mouth and released a blood-soaked light. A powerful golden-red spiritual force beam shot out in a blink of an eye. The nine-tailed fox stood its ground, not intending to dodge. It retaliated with a long-range spiritual force beam. The two beams collided, and it was simple. Whoever got pushed back lost. This was a straightforward contest to determine who was stronger. Very quickly, the Moon Wolf King realized he was gradually being pushed back, more and more as time passed. Damn it! The spiritual force flame of the nine-tailed fox had pushed the Moon Wolf King's spiritual force beam back into his mouth, then engulfed everything. The fire blazed fiercely, the flames reaching tens of meters high. Someone might ask, what's inside this fire that makes it burn so intensely? Honestly, I don't know. Let's skip that. The nine-tailed fox stood still, watching. As soon as a head poked out of this fire, she would crush it immediately. A few seconds passed with no movement, then suddenly the nine-tailed fox felt uneasy. At this moment, when sensing the opponent's spiritual force, she felt a strange change within herself. Sweat began to pour out, and the nine-tailed fox was on high alert. She said, "Are you planning to rush out?" Sure enough, the Moon Wolf King poked his head out of the fire, but not from the front, but from the left side. It was indeed cunning. His movement was so graceful and light that it made the fox feel apprehensive. The Moon Wolf King opened his mouth wide. "Go to hell, you rotten fox." Could the nine-tailed fox dodge in time? I think she could. After all, the speed of the fox is a formidable strength. It just hadn't been used in this battle. But in case she couldn't dodge in time, the fox might be severely injured, because this was a life-threatening bite at close range, and the opponent even had time to choose where to bite. Regrettably, the wolf had been punched in the face, as Cheese-Eye had appeared. Not forgetting to bring along a 100-ton punch, the wolf was instantly killed. The Ninetails was overjoyed to see Cheese-Eye arrive, as she basically wouldn't be able to dodge that punch. Cheese-Eye also suspiciously turned back to ask, "Big sister, what's strange? It seems your spiritual power is unstable." "Indeed," the Ninetails replied, "it seems I'm about to break through." Indeed, from the most recent breakthrough in the desert, Ninetails is now about to advance to the transcendent fourth order. Hearing this, the panda worriedly shouted, "Then it's not good. Let me take you out of here." How to imagine it? This breakthrough is probably like having diarrhea. What if you are having diarrhea and the enemy comes in? What should you do? But the situation always does not favor people. A scream of the crane echoed in the sky. The two people saw it and sighed. Damn, another enemy? The demon bull looked up and immediately recognized. It seemed this beast was a bit familiar. Ching Chong was rushing to aid in the battle when he found that the Wolf King had moved to heaven. He opened the golem and poked his head to look at the terrifying scream. A giant hawk was circling and staring at them. It opened its mouth, preparing to attack from the air. The demon bull shouted loudly. It was the giant hawk from the north 3 years ago. Indeed it was. It seemed this one had attacked the demon bull in the canyon that year. The hawk screamed evilly, "Die here." Then it shot a very strong spiritual power ball from the air, instantly destroying a large piece of land below. The beasts within the radius of influence were all crushed into dust. It did not stop. It continued its carpet attack. It wanted to turn the below into a plain. I wonder if there's something wrong with this one? Why is it so violent? The panda was angry and shouted loudly, "Damn you, I will kill you." But he did not forget to take out his phone to take pictures for Xiao AI to see this scene. Suddenly a sharp slash came at an extremely fast speed. Oh, it's too late to dodge. The hawk was busy killing, and now it was stunned. It turned out that the golden ant had appeared, and immediately launched a sharp slash. What was this move called? It was just a vertical slash. But the point still lies in the position where this slash was aimed. It was right at the hawk's neck. The opponent didn't have time to dodge. Fresh blood splattered out. The golden ant appeared again in a very cool way. With its ability to fly, the golden ant had ended the aerial advantage of the mutant hawk. The roar of the giant hawk echoed throughout the region, as the iron beak hawk had been struck in the neck by the golden ant. If it were not a mutant beast that had reached the transcendent third order, equipped with a super thick skin, it would have surely lost its head. The giant hawk fell heavily to the ground, causing the earth to tremble. The nine-tailed fox was stunned for a second upon seeing this scene. The golden ant had also come here? The golden ant, with its long glowing whiskers fluttering in the air, teleported in front of the fallen beast, then slowly approached the giant hawk, causing the hawk to hastily get up, spread its wings and screech, as if threatening the golden ant not to come closer, but it was completely useless. At this point, the suppression had risen. The hawk spat out human words, cursing, "Damn you guys. Last time the Misty Mountain gang of you prevented me from taking the divine flower. Now you are preventing me from taking the bodies of the Blood Wolf King and the Moon Wolf King." Ah, so it was an acquaintance. This name proved that it had lived quite a long time, certainly had grown much stronger. Only thing is, wherever there is Misty Mountain, good things never reach their hands. The hawk began to gather spiritual power in its mouth. While gathering it also cursed loudly. "You wild brats, every one of you wants to stop me. In that case, I will not let any of you leave here." A golden orb quickly grew larger. The more it grew, the more dense the spiritual power became. It seemed that this guy had been suppressing his anger for many years. Now it finally erupted. He wanted to blow up this entire place. Ching Chong inside the golem poked his head out to look. The spiritual power was too strong, making him feel uneasy. Was this hawk crazy? Even if they could not die, those two bodies would be destroyed into dust. Yet the golden ant on this side still marched forward fearlessly. The golden spiritual power radiated from his body. He clenched his fist, activating 5 parts of his strength. The cluster of spiritual power from the crow's mouth at this moment aimed straight at the golden ant. The next second it shot straight into him. Could the golden ant withstand it? He still rushed up, wanting to penetrate through this spiritual power boss of the opponent. Crack! A harsh sound of bone breaking echoed. People saw nothing, only saw the crow had stopped attacking. Its beak was smashed up, shattered. Right after that, it fell to the ground. Was this a killing move? This is the power of the golden ant? The golden ant stood still on the ground, right in front of the hawk's beak, exuding a cold and dangerous aura. Even the Hollywood lights couldn't resist shining on him. "Where's Cheese Eye? Quick, take a picture." The handsome golden ant turned around and uttered a familiar line. "I have returned." Indeed, Cheese Eye had taken out his phone and was snapping away, knowing that sending these pictures to Xiao AI could earn her a fortune. The nine-tailed fox was speechless, looking up at the sky, while the buffalo demon remained silent. The grassland returned to tranquility, except for the ground that had been dug up and was now in disarray. The remaining wolves of the pack had been imprisoned in an earth cell by Ching Chong. They were completely silent now, their two leaders dead, and the slightly stronger ones had been wiped out by Misty Mountain. Ching Chong would release them once they were fully tamed. Their biggest problem now was the nine-tailed fox, who was about to evolve. Like a pregnant woman, she would enter the birthing room, completely defenseless, and they would have to be on guard for a long time. At this point, the nine-tailed fox had curled herself into a ball of orange-yellow spiritual energy, feeling extremely sleepy. After this sleep, she would reach the transcendent fourth order. Chizai looked on, not understanding anything, and took a few more pictures. The golden ant stepped forward and observed. It seemed that the spiritual energy in the body of the elder nine-tailed fox was dividing into two terrifying forces, and they were fighting each other. The body of the nine-tailed fox was now as fragile as glass, and around her body, spiritual energy overflowed and gathered into floating fireballs. Seeing this, the buffalo demon decided that they should all return. This situation was too sensitive, and perhaps they would be safer under the protection of the divine tree. The prisoners would be transported by the mouse core through the underground tunnel. Just then, everyone noticed the presence of an extremely powerful force steadily approaching them. Chizai looked on in bewilderment, and the golden ant, buffalo demon, and the mice all looked on in shock. The Panda cavalry corps, what were they doing here? It was known that the Panda cavalry was the strongest force in the Federation. Even stronger than the Dragon Corps. Leading this group was Chizai's elder panda brother, riding a lion and advancing slowly with his arms crossed. Ching Chong recognized them immediately. These were the Iron Knights of the Federation who had haunted his team many years ago. Back then, they had almost fought these Iron Knights, but when they realized their overwhelming strength, they had decided to retreat. Looking back now, he wondered how much stronger they had become, especially this leading panda, who was exuding a terrifyingly oppressive power. The golden ant immediately said, "You guys take the big sister away first. I will protect the rear." But before he could act, Chizai jumped out, spread his arms, and decisively said, "No need. Just leave it to me." Despite saying so, Chizai was not crazy. He knew how powerful his big brother was. But this was also his responsibility. His clan had caused trouble. He could not just stand by and watch. The elder panda jumped down, and the ground also cracked. Then, both sides fell silent. Only the whispering wind was blowing. The elder coldly asked Chizai, "Why didn't you run with them? Do you think I will let you go?" Hearing this, Chizai broke out in a cold sweat. He could only laugh it off. Seeing his younger brother laugh, the elder shouted, "So you think you can beat me?" Ah! The brothers met and wanted to fight without even asking a question. Chizai could only reluctantly reply, "If you think so, then so be it." As soon as these words fell, the elder was furious. He bared his teeth and shouted, "You've grown up now. You even know how to talk back." Then, the whole body of the black panda emitted a purple-black spiritual power. The outbreak began. You should know that this is the king of pandas, the pillar of the Federation. 2 years ago, he alone resisted the entire invasion of the beast tide. Not only did he completely annihilate the enemy, but he also flattened several forbidden areas. From then on, the world knew his power. The elder ordered the remaining knights to retreat. He wanted to be alone with Chizai. This was a family battle. Today, he wanted to teach this youngest brother a lesson, that being engrossed in play and forgetting the main responsibility is a deadly sin. But before the fight, the elder asked Chizai a question. "Last time in Jieri City, what is the relationship between the girl you saved and you?" Hearing this, Chizai was shocked. Damn, why suddenly ask something irrelevant? Before the silence, the elder was furious. His whole body was on fire, and he shouted loudly, "Is she your girlfriend?" Chizai was stunned for 3 seconds. Then he shyly laughed and turned his face away. So it was true. The elder angrily continued to shout, "Then prepare to die, you bastard." Chizai didn't understand what was going on. Why did his brother react like this? What did he do wrong? End of chapter 190.